mostly cloudy skies from the Bay Area down through San Diego. Well, folks, it's a hot and humid afternoon across the southeast with temperatures hovering in the low 90s from Memphis down through Miami. While most of the region is dealing with a mix of clouds and sunshine, without any significant weather threats on the radar right now. We're looking at a mild afternoon across the Mountain West with temperatures ranging from the low 70s in Denver and Boise up to the mid-80s in Phoenix, with most of the region enjoying overcast to partly cloudy skies and no significant weather concerns at this hour. Turning now to the tropics, we are tracking 6 active systems across the Atlantic and Eastern Pacific basins that we need to keep our eye on. Post-tropical cyclone Cristobal is now nothing more than a remnant low-pressure system located about 535 miles west-northwest of the Azores. The system is moving to the northeast at 16 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds down to just 30 miles per hour. The National Hurricane Center is issuing this as their final advisory on Cristobal, as the system is expected to dissipate later this evening as it becomes absorbed into a larger weather pattern over Atlantic Canada, with no threats to any land areas. Tropical Storm Hernan is located about 1,400 miles west of the southern tip of Baja California, with maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, moving west-southwest at just 3 miles per hour. The National Hurricane Center expects a weakening trend to begin later tonight and into Friday, with Hernan forecast to become a post-tropical remnant low by this weekend as it moves into an unfavorable environment with increasing wind shear. There are currently no coastal watches or warnings in effect, and this system poses no hazards to land at this time. Tropical storm Lala is churning in the eastern Pacific this morning with maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour, located about 15 degrees north latitude and 145 degrees west longitude. The storm is moving westward at 10 miles per hour with a central pressure of 1001 millibars. Current conditions show warm ocean water around 27 to 28 degrees Celsius, but the system is being impacted by strong westerly wind shear and increasingly dry mid-level air, which should lead to gradual weakening over the next couple of days, with the system expected to degenerate into a remnant low by tomorrow evening. A tropical wave in the central Atlantic is showing signs of organization and could become a short-lived tropical depression over the next day or two as it moves west toward the Lesser Antilles. The National Hurricane Center is giving this system an 80% chance of development in both the next 48 hours and over the next 7 days. However, conditions should turn hostile to any further strengthening by late Friday when strong upper-level winds and dry air move in. But before that happens, folks in the Lesser Antilles need to watch for gusty winds and heavy rain Friday night and Saturday. We're monitoring a tropical disturbance in the Western Caribbean that forecasters are keeping a close eye on. Right now, the National Hurricane Center gives it only a 30% chance of developing into a named system over the next 48 hours, but that probability increases to 50% over the next 7 days. We'll continue to track this system and bring you updates as conditions develop. The Storm Prediction Center is watching 4 separate areas of severe weather risk today. Across Illinois and Iowa, a slight risk is in place where a long-lived cluster of storms moving from Iowa eastward toward the Mississippi River could produce damaging wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles per hour, with an isolated tornado risk and occasional hail possible through the early evening. Kansas, Nebraska, and Illinois are under a marginal risk where scattered severe thunderstorms developing over the high plains this afternoon could bring isolated damaging gusts between 60 and 75 miles per hour along with occasional hail. Nevada and Utah are under a marginal risk as well, where scattered to numerous thunderstorms fed by southwesterly winds and daytime heating could produce isolated damaging wind gusts between 60 and 75 miles per hour. Finally, Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont face a marginal risk where a trough of low pressure moving through Quebec and New England may support isolated damaging winds between 50 and 65 miles per hour along with isolated hail as thunderstorms develop and move through the region this afternoon. A marginal tornado threat exists today across parts of Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa, with a 2% probability in those areas. While tornadoes are possible, the overall risk remains relatively low across the region. We're monitoring a damaging wind threat today, with the highest risk across Illinois and Iowa, where we have a 15% probability of severe winds. Additional areas including parts of Kansas, Colorado, Nevada, Utah, and northern New England face a lower 5% chance of damaging wind development. A 5% risk for large hail exists today across portions of Kansas, Nebraska, and Colorado, as well as parts of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. While the overall threat remains relatively low, any storms that do develop in these areas will have the potential to produce large hail. The Storm Prediction Center's Day 2 outlook for Friday includes a marginal risk for severe storms across Kansas, Iowa, and Illinois. Multiple areas of low pressure moving around the edges of a high-pressure system are expected to trigger isolated strong to severe storms throughout the day. The main threats will be damaging winds and hail, with the strongest potential developing in the afternoon and evening as the atmosphere becomes increasingly unstable from daytime heating and an influx of moisture from the south. Severe weather alert. An extreme heat warning has been issued for central and southern Franklin, effective immediately until 7 o'clock this evening. Dangerously hot conditions are expected with heat index values climbing to around 115 degrees. Please limit outdoor activities, stay hydrated, and check on elderly relatives and neighbors during these life-threatening heat conditions. We have an update on the dangerous heat affecting Washington today. An extreme heat warning remains in effect through 7 o'clock this evening, with heat index values climbing to a life-threatening 115 degrees. Please limit outdoor activities, check on family and friends, and never leave anyone in a parked vehicle as these extreme conditions pose serious health risks. Let's check in on flight delays across the country right now. San Francisco is seeing the longest delays at 39 minutes due to low ceilings, while San Diego is running about 34 minutes behind because of airport volume. Out west, Seattle is experiencing departure delays of 16 to 30 minutes with low visibility, and Chicago Midway is also dealing with 16 to 30-minute departure delays due to weather and traffic management initiatives. Now a look at tomorrow's weather and potential flight delays. We're expecting high-risk delays at both Chicago airports and Denver due to showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day. Atlanta and Baltimore face moderate delay risks with only slight chances of storms, so conditions should be better there. The Storm Prediction Center has issued an elevated fire weather risk for the southern plains today, where a combination of gusty winds, low humidity, and dry fuels are creating dangerous conditions for rapid fire spread. While the largest active wildfires are currently burning in Oregon, including the Big Grass Fire at over 579,000 acres with only 34% containment, the fire weather threat today is focused on the southern plains region, where these same atmospheric ingredients could quickly overcome firefighting efforts. Anyone in the affected area should be prepared for the possibility of fires spreading rapidly if ignition occurs, and outdoor burning should be avoided entirely during this elevated risk period. The Weather Prediction Center's Day 1 excessive rainfall outlook identifies a moderate risk for Indiana and Kentucky, where training thunderstorms that repeatedly move over the same areas combined with already saturated ground could produce significant flash flooding throughout the day. A slight risk extends across Nevada, Arizona, and Utah, as well as Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana, Montana, Colorado, and Wyoming, where scattered heavy downpours from daily thunderstorms along a stationary weather boundary and in the western mountains could lead to flash flooding. A marginal risk is in place for Nevada and Arizona, where isolated flash flooding is possible. The primary driver behind this broad threat is a wavy front draped across the northern edge of a strong upper-level high-pressure system that will focus repeated rounds of storms from the high plains through the Ohio Valley, while Pacific moisture streaming into the Intermountain West will trigger additional shower and thunderstorm activity along and west of the Rockies. The Weather Prediction Center's Day 1 rainfall forecast shows the heaviest rain expected across Iowa, where some areas could see over 4 inches of rain. Additional heavy rainfall of 3 to 3.5 inches is possible across parts of Indiana and Illinois, while Louisiana and Texas could see amounts reaching 2.5 inches. This rainfall is being driven by training thunderstorms moving along a stationary front in the Midwest, where soils are already saturated from recent storms, creating a setup where storms repeatedly move over the same areas and dump heavy rain. The Weather Prediction Center's Day 2 excessive rainfall outlook shows a slight risk for excessive rainfall across Arizona, Utah, and Nevada, as well as Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Colorado, and Nebraska, with a marginal risk for Kansas. An active weather pattern is keeping thunderstorms in the forecast across much of the Midwest and western U.S., and where storms train or repeatedly move over the same areas combined with already saturated soils from recent heavy rainfall, there is potential for flash flooding. The greatest rainfall threat in the west is expected over the next 2 days as Pacific moisture moves into the Intermountain West and Southwest, while storms along a stationary front from the high plains to the Ohio Valley will maintain a daily threat for scattered flash flooding through the period. The Weather Prediction Center's Day 2 rainfall forecast shows the heaviest rainfall expected across North Carolina, where some areas could see 4 inches or more of rain, with additional areas receiving 3 or more inches, and a broader region getting 2.5 or more inches, including parts of Maryland. This heavy rain is being driven by a stationary front set up along the northern edge of a heat dome, which will focus daily thunderstorms in this region, and these storms could train or repeatedly move over the same areas, leading to the potential for significant flash flooding as the ground becomes increasingly saturated from recent rainfall. The Storm Prediction Center is watching 4 separate areas of severe weather risk today. The first area covers parts of Kansas, Nebraska, and Illinois with a marginal risk, where scattered thunderstorms could produce damaging wind gusts. The second area includes Nevada and Utah, also under a marginal risk, as stronger downbursts from thunderstorms are possible with afternoon heating and moisture moving into the Great Basin. The third area is Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont with a marginal risk, where strong winds aloft combined with a weather system moving through could spark isolated damaging wind gusts with any storms that develop this afternoon. Finally, Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa face a slight risk, the highest level in today's outlook, as a long-lasting cluster of storms continues to move eastward and could redevelop and intensify through the evening hours, bringing damaging winds and potentially a brief tornado or hail. A marginal tornado threat exists today across parts of Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa, with a 2% probability in those areas. While tornadoes are possible, the overall risk remains relatively low across the region. We're tracking a damaging wind threat today across Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa with a 15% probability from the Storm Prediction Center, while several other regions, including parts of Kansas, Colorado, Nevada, Utah, and northern New England, have a lower 5% risk of severe winds. A 5% risk for large hail exists today across portions of Kansas, Nebraska, and Colorado, as well as parts of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. While the overall threat remains relatively low, any storms that do develop in these areas will have the potential to produce large hail. The Storm Prediction Center's Day 2 outlook for Friday includes a marginal risk for severe storms across Kansas, Iowa, and Illinois. Multiple areas of low pressure moving around the edges of a high-pressure system are expected to trigger isolated strong to severe storms throughout the day. The main threats will be damaging winds and hail, with the strongest potential developing in the afternoon and evening as the atmosphere becomes increasingly unstable from daytime heating and an influx of moisture from the south. We're tracking an update on the extreme heat warning for inland Glen that remains in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. The National Weather Service is warning of dangerously hot conditions with heat index values climbing to around 113 degrees, which can be life-threatening. If you need to be outside, stay hydrated, take frequent breaks in the shade or air conditioning, and watch for signs of heat exhaustion. Severe weather alert. An extreme heat warning has been issued for inland Glen County and remains in effect through 8 o'clock Thursday evening. We are expecting dangerously hot conditions with heat index values climbing to a dangerous 113 degrees. Take this heat warning seriously by staying indoors with air conditioning when possible, drink plenty of water, and check on elderly neighbors and loved ones frequently. The U.S. Drought Monitor shows that exceptional drought conditions, the most severe category, are centered over the southern plains and affecting about 1% of the continental U.S. Overall, roughly 51% of the country is experiencing moderate drought or worse, with the most significant impacts concentrated across the southeast and mid-south regions where entrenched drought conditions are limiting rainfall effectiveness due to depleted water supplies and low groundwater levels. The drought is creating substantial challenges for agriculture and water management across these hard-hit areas, even as heavy rains this week brought some improvement to portions of the eastern seaboard and Midwest, though other regions saw conditions deteriorate due to below normal precipitation and above normal temperatures. Let's check in on flight conditions across the country. Seattle-Tacoma is under a ground stop due to low visibility, with delays expected until 11 o'clock this morning. San Francisco is experiencing 39-minute delays from low ceilings, while San Diego is seeing 34-minute delays from heavy airport volume. And Chicago Midway is dealing with departure delays ranging from 16 to 30 minutes.